We have here today a brand new Brandon Herrera video testing the gun used to assassinate the United Healthcare CEO. Let's get in.
On December 4th, 2024, our alleged shooter, Luigi Mangione, laid in wait in the streets of New York City to eventually shoot and kill CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, in cold blood.
A premeditated,
For New York, you would think that they would have, like, better quality cameras, but no.
planned, targeted attack.
This is one of the most interesting assassinations in recent history, in my opinion, mostly due to the public reaction. There was an immediate outpouring of support and condemnation from both sides, seeming to cross party lines entirely, but garnering an uncharacteristic amount of support from both the right and the left. But my expertise is not in social sciences. My expertise is in the firearms space. And in this particular case, there was so much bad information spread not only by individuals on the internet, but also mainstream media sources and even law enforcement agencies like the NYPD.
NYPD detectives tracing sales of the kind of gun used to kill the CEO arrived at a shop and same type of gun according to the police. I don't know why. I do not know why it keeps doing this. The phone keeps disconnecting. But fuck it, we ball. You know what? Fuck it. We're just gonna... Why does my phone keep doing this? I'm gonna keep it real, brother. I have no freaking clue. But we're gonna keep it going.
I was sitting there gritting my teeth listening to so-called experts weigh in on the firearm that was used and some of the details in the video, meanwhile getting it all flamboyantly fucking wrong. So that is the purpose of the video that we are making here today. We're going to attempt to shed some light on what actually happened and dispelling some of the incorrect theories that gained a lot of traction, largely thanks to our friends at the mainstream media. So let's start with one of the biggest lies that gained a lot of footing very early on. The weapon used. So if you ask a fucking moron, they'll tell you that the weapon used by the...
Why are we at a range? Why are we at a range, Brandon? You have a range outdoors. Why are you inside, Brandon? I don't know what I'm doing.
Assassin was the B&T Station 6, or some variant thereof. This is a single-shot, integrally suppressed pistol, this one in particular being chambered in .45, and it makes sense why someone would choose this as, you know, the stereotypical assassin gun. It looks cool, it looks sexy, and anyone who knows anything about firearms knew immediately that this is not what was used. That didn't stop the news media from going on and on about how this was absolutely the gun.
That looks like the B&T VP9.
Fuck, the NYPD was saying that this was the gun. Well, let's show you how this gun works and why it's clearly not the gun. So being a single shot, the way this gun functions is you have this knob here at the rear. This gun is currently in the locked and ready to fire position. To chamber a round, you unscrew this a quarter turn, which unlocks the locking lugs, which allows the bolt to come back, and you can load a round into the chamber and then do a quarter turn back to the right, relocking it in place. You have a magazine here from which the gun feeds. Load that up, and then every single round, you have to reset it like that. Based on the actual movements of Luigi Mangione, you could tell he was running a slide. He was not rotating, pulling back, pushing back forward, and rotating again. It just, the biomechanics didn't make any sense from the surveillance video. That being said, this is a really cool gun, so we're not gonna turn down the opportunity to shoot it. Also, the Form 3 did not clear in time for us to make this video, so we appreciate our friends at Mission Ridge for allowing us to have a conjugal visit.
That makes sense why. They couldn't get the gun in time at the range, so they just went to someone who owned it. Okay.
Got 3 rounds loaded here. This one again, 45 ACP.
3 rounds.
Lowering my insurance premiums in 3, 2, 1.
Damn.
Come on, there you go.
Is he even hitting it? Excuse me.
Honestly, even shooting inside, it's pretty damn quiet. That's very hearing safe. You do have to squeeze down pretty hard on that grip safety. That's a little weird. And the trigger is honestly not awesome, but as you can see, clearly fully capable of getting the job done. But despite the overnight experts identifying this as the pistol that was used in the assassination, let's talk about what actually got used.
All right, I'm just gonna put this out there. This is a hilariously relevant ad for this video. So guys, look, none of us really want to talk about debt, but the truth is a lot of us will go even deeper into debt during the holidays. Last year, half of American consumers took on debt to pay for holiday stuff. This year, maybe it's you. But it's never too early to start planning on how to get out of debt. Whether you're dealing with credit card debt, medical debt, whatever it might be, our friends over at PDS Debt have solutions for you. If you're making payments every month but your balances aren't going down, you might want to look into PDS. Anyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies, and there is no minimum credit score. So if you have bad or fair credit, still accept it. So save more by paying off your debt in a fraction of the time. So start planning on getting out of debt now and go to pdsdebt.com/BH for your free debt analysis. It only takes 30 seconds, so check them out. Again, pdsdebt.com/BH. pdsdebt.com/BH.
So it's clear to me from
Why must you do this to me, iPhone? Why must you do this to me? Why must you do this to me? Anyways.
that the gun attempts to cycle, and the way he clears the malfunction of the weapon not cycling, meaning that there's still an empty piece of brass left over in the chamber that needs to be then cleared, and racking the slide then not only ejects that piece of brass, but loads a new round so you can fire again. Every round he needs to manually rack the slide. Think of it as a malfunction that essentially turns a semi-automatic handgun into kind of a single shot. Now, when Luigi was apprehended, we did get this photo of the gun that was actually used, which is a Glock 19. But not just any Glock 19. It was a so-called ghost gun. God, I hate that term. Anyway, what it actually is it is a Glock 19 upper on a printed frame. This exact model, actually. This was based on the FMDA 19...
It's actually 3D printed. That's amazing.
.2 Chairman Wan remix. While that may sound like a dubstep track, what it actually is the model this frame was based on, including the built-in stippling, which you see in the photo as well. Now the slide is a little bit more Gucci than his. This is actually just one I pulled off from my Danger Close Armament Glock, but it's the only Gen 3 Glock slide I had that would work with this particular print model. It also features this threaded barrel. This is for use of the also printed suppressor that he used. Now there are no photos currently circulating of the can itself, but we're pretty sure it's between one of two. This one here we're using is the Event 9. The other is the Playboy or PLA Boy FTN3, I believe, which would require a carbon fiber wrap. There's some debate on which one that was used. We just have this one because it is easier. But of any of the popular printed cans currently, I think those fit the profile best.
Wait. At the time of posting, we've seen that the FTN was the one used, but either will work for demonstration purposes. Okay. Wait, was he running hollow points? Am I crazy, or does that look like a hollow point? Oh my god.
Either way, the results should be fairly similar between the two of them, so that part doesn't really matter too much. So now what we're gonna do, and just showing clear, just for safety reasons, I'm gonna thread on this spacer, which allows us to then thread on our suppressor. And now we're going to test fire. So what we're gonna do here is recreate the malfunction that Luigi seemed to experience every round, and then talk about exactly why that is. Now, printing technology, when it comes to firearms especially, has come a long way over the last few years. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to figure that out, especially on YouTube, because their guidelines are so strict. It is an immediate age restriction, possibly a removal and a strike, to give instructions on how to 3D print, let's say, a suppressor or a frame or anything like that. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. They fucking hate this stuff. But I'm still including it in this video for two reasons. One, I find it important for public interest just to demonstrate the actual tools that were used in this incident. Two, YouTube's policy actually specifically states homemade. Nothing you're seeing before you is actually homemade in any capacity. I'm a federally licensed 0702 manufacturer's FFL. We manufacture firearms all the time. It is perfectly legal. Everything
Did you miss me? I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to edit all that out. Oh my god.
you're seeing in front of you was made by a licensed firearm manufacturer and is actually serialized and marked accordingly. Legally speaking, and in accordance to YouTube guidelines, nothing you see here is any different than shooting a factory-made Glock. So YouTube, by the letter of the law, we are compliant with your guidelines. In your
Nah, they're still gonna fuck that up. They are still going to fuck that up, and I will put no money down for that because
Your own words. Now, if somebody in your company doesn't like that, they're going to have to change the rules, which I'm sure they would love to do. Without notice. Fucking over creators. Again. Anyhow, let's shoot it. Test firing. 3, 2, 1. It's actually really not bad. The loudest part of that by far was hitting.
Why is it lagging? Why is it lagging? I have a MacBook right here that I'm like viewing off of. Oh my god, why are you doing this shit? Hold on, what the fuck? Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry for all the interruptions.
Hitting the steel.
Oh my god.
Honestly, that really wasn't bad. Even though we were pro, that's actually pretty decent for, especially for a 3D printed can. But, real moment of truth, that is our empty shell casing that didn't eject. The reason for that is that this gun requires something that this suppressor does not have, which is a Nielsen device. This next part's for all you Metal Gear Solid fans. This is the HK Mark 23. Definitely one.
I like it.
One of my favorite genders. German-made 45 caliber handgun. And the suppressor we have for it today is the rugged Obsidian 45. Great pistol can, and it includes what is known as a Nielsen device, which is particularly useful for shooting suppressed handguns and actually having them cycle. So I take this out the back, and so just behind our end cap we have a spring and a booster, both of which are incredibly dirty. Now what this does, instead of just direct threading on a tube that has baffles inside of it to the end of your gun, this gives it a little bit of extra oomph for some recoil-operated pistols to actually be able to function. Really not much more to it than that. Literally everything else is just, again, tube with baffles. But you pop this sucker in, thread that on over the top, and then now, when we actually thread it onto our pistol, like so, again for safety, showing unloaded, you can see that when it fires, we've got movement on the can, which allows us to be able to fire a suppressed handgun and allow it to cycle.
Hold on, I want to go back on that real quick. We're going frame by frame with that bitch. Oh, man. I should so... Oh, I see why. Okay, yeah, because I think... Is it because the suppressor's putting weight on it? I'm an idiot online, okay? I'm trying to... So, it pulls it back ever so slightly, so... Okay, that makes sense. Then it goes. Okay, that's cool. Okay.
A lot of the so-called experts were saying that the reason why Luigi's pistol was jamming was because he was using subsonic ammo, because he was some sort of professional. What we're using here in this pistol is subsonic 45 ACP. As you can see, no issues whatsoever. Even one-handed, still cycles just fine. This is not the variable, this is. But just to be thorough, let's take our Assassination GAT back out and load it up with a supersonic, really standard velocity 9mm full metal jacket, and verify that this does not cycle either. As you see, the slide was back just a little bit there and then slid back forward, very much like the video. And we have our empty fired casing that did not eject. So even with supersonic ammo, the gun still doesn't cycle. So if you're trying to be stealthy, might as well use subs. So now that we're pretty sure we know the tools that were used, the only thing left is to put it to the test by trying to recreate.
Hey, I'll drink to that.
Let's see how close we got.
He did the fit check.
No No shit. That was actually perfect with that malfunction. We could not have planned that better. I was wondering, because my time was going to come in way faster no matter what, because I wasn't planning on having a malfunction, but I guess nobody does. So yeah, we'll look back on the footage and see how close that was.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty spot on.
Oh my god.
I think it's pretty safe to say that was pretty close. Given what we now know about all the facts of the case, this is probably one of the better representations. But now, just because we have it out, what would an actual pro use?
Oh my god.
Part of this feels kind of wrong, but I mean, we're already out here.
Nah, it ain't wrong. Okay, Agent.
As you can see, the entire demeanor of that was much less awkward. However, I mean, the outcome was the same, so
Fair.
who am I? Can't argue with results.
Whatever it might be, this 50-year-old man is now deceased.
Now, people have been using the fact that it was a printed gun and printed suppressor to start spreading more fear-mongering about ghost guns and 3D printing in general. Why isn't this stuff regulated? In Luigi Mangione's own words, all this took was, quote, basic CAD. And even if you take 3D printing out of the situation entirely, homemade suppressors have been a thing pretty much as long as suppressors have been a thing. I promise you, any redneck you ask, any real one anyway, has stories of a buddy that...
No. Yep, definitely. Because we have our own rednecks up here in the Midwest. Moonlighters.
That made makeshift suppressors out of oil filters. The only thing that's changed is that now there's a new technology being introduced to do the same thing people were doing before, but now most people aren't familiar with it, and it sounds scary. I don't like it when those people try to weaponize ignorance. The more people learn about stuff like this, the more they can start actually having educated opinions, and then we can have some real productive conversations. So on that note, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something from it. If you didn't, at least I hope you thought it was cool. We'll see if YouTube actually gives a shit about the fact that I was following the law and their guidelines, and if not, I will see you sexy YouTube mothers after I get out of YouTube jail. Thanks, guys.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon, like Rasputin's rise to the top.
I'm gonna play so much Fortnite after this and just rock the fucking suppressed pistol. Oh man, I waited all that, man. Come on, man. Well, that was... Actually, hold on. I gotta go in, give my like. I'm going to... Cool bit, bro. Oh my god, why does enter not work? It just makes another fucking paragraph. Comment. There's my comment. Oh shit. The Fat Electrician's comment with 6.9 thousand likes. Hear me out. If you become the ATF director, let's rename it Firearms, Alcohol, Tobacco. Fat Director. That's actually pretty funny. All right, I will see you all next time. Hopefully, next time my camera works. I'm gonna log off. I'm gonna go play Fortnite.